morning to all who tuned in. Welcome to another edition of Policing with You. I'm your host for today, Inspector Marvin Thompson. And with me in studio, I have Inspector Bergen. And we'll be talking a little about the summer camp that we security forces put on, has in recent years have been putting on. He's going to share with us a little about the progress, and maybe you will find out how you can assist in this worthy endeavor. Inspector Bergen?
Thank you, Inspector Thompson. Good morning to our listening audience, those listening via the internet, those listening in Radio Land. My name is, as Inspector Thompson indicated, it is Inspector John Bergen of the police force. I'm here to bring good news again this year, and I first want to say thanks to Inspector Thompson and our radio host GQ for allowing us to bring some good news about our summer program that we are hosting again this year. The third annual Crime Intervention Summer Soccer Camp that is being hosted by the Security Forces Football Club in collaboration with the Royal St. Christopher Nevis Police Force National Intervention Team. The camp is slated for 2 weeks between the period of Monday 21st July to Friday the 1st of August 2025. I don't know if I should stay here for now or...
Well, you can go ahead. This is your morning, so I'm giving you an opportunity to share as much as you can.
All right, so thank you for that. The camp is an anti-crime prevention initiative. We have been hosting it for the last, as I said, this year is going to be the third year, 2023, 2024, and this year will be our third year. The camp is catering for boys and girls between the ages of 5 to 17. And we are expecting about 250, 300 children this year. We are catering for 250, but...
What was the numbers last year?
We had over 300 last year.
Okay.
And we saw the challenges with that. So we are looking at 250 this year. But if we get more than that, we would make sure that we mitigate that situation. We are looking volunteers, we are looking for coaches, we are looking for the whole of St. Kitts and Nevis to come and support this youth initiative program that we are hosting. The camp will be hosted again this year at the NCI ground, formerly known as Flow Ground, and it will be facilitated by True Life Sports out of the UK. They will be bringing in a number of international coaches from some of the professional clubs in England: Tottenham Hotspurs, West Ham, Newcastle, Arsenal, and I want to believe they're having some coaches from the Woodlands, Aston Villa, and they will be assisted by our local coaches, headed by Mr. Sinclair Bumpy Morris, our local director for one of the programs that I will speak about later in the program, and our own in-house coaches. So we are on the way. We are planning as we are basically 2.5 months away from this wonderful initiative that we have every summer for the last 3 years, and we are encouraging our local corporate partners at this time to come on board. If you receive a letter, whatever you can give in cash or kind, we'll appreciate it very much. I just came out of a meeting yesterday with one of our major sponsors, one of our gold sponsors this year, Delta Petroleum Limited, and I want to thank Mr. Bevis Sylvester, Mr. Keynes, and the HR manager for meeting with us yesterday to discuss how they can assist. And Delta, Mr. Sylvester has indicated that Delta Petroleum is throwing all their weight behind the summer camp this year in cash and coin, and we really appreciate that. we are encouraging other corporate partners in St. Kitts and Nevis to come on board and to join us in this wonderful initiative. We've also had support from the Taiwanese embassy. I want to thank Ambassador Lin and the Republic of China and Taiwan for their generous sponsorship. Every year we have been doing this event. We have a number of international partners as well. For example, the Sandy Point Benevolent Society, Humble Beginnings Manufacturing in the US, Mr. Dr. Stuart Williams. He is the president of the chapter in New York. And also our good partner there in New Jersey, Trace Livingston. We also have True Life Sports. I want to thank Richie and his team over there in England. Beresford Mac of Reach One, Teach One in Georgia, Atlanta. And also a good friend in Manchester, Billy Hughes, MBE. These are persons who have seen the vision of what we are trying to do, the Security Forces, United Football Club, and the National Intervention Team. What we are doing, the PM, Prime Minister Dr. Drew, has also thrown his weight from day one behind this program, and we are happy to say that this year again, Prime Minister Drew has indicated he is interested in supporting this initiative once again, and we are very thankful of that. I can stay here for now.
Sure. You mentioned earlier about the volunteers. If somebody out there who is listening wants to volunteer, how can they go about doing that, and what areas specifically are you looking for in terms of?
Okay, so we know that this is a summer program, and it's going to be outside of the school summer break. So if teachers who are going to be on vacation, auxiliary staff in particular, other persons in the community with skills, for example, persons with medical background, for example. We know in the summer the sun is very hot. We want persons who are there to look after the children if they're injured, if they come down with an illness associated maybe with the sun or whatever. We want persons in the medical field. We want persons to help with devotion, because one of the main thing we emphasize every year is before we start any football activities, there must be a life skill session. So we that's why the NIT is so instrumental in this. Where the camps is run from 9 to 12 every day, Monday to Friday. 9 o'clock, 8:30, 9 o'clock, the children begins to come in, and 9 o'clock, 9:15, we start our devotion. And we also we have a professional person every day to come and speak to the children. It's a lot of children, so sometimes we have to split them up in 2 or 3 groups. Speak on behaviors, conflict resolution, self-discipline. We speak about financial literacy. We speak about being a good citizen. So we have over the years have a number of persons like Peter Jenkins, like Mr. Martin, Michael Martin. We had persons from the social development to come and speak to the children probation services. We had pastors come and speak to the children. So every morning the fire department to speak about fire safety, from the Football Association to speak about, where football can take you and how you should conduct yourself as young footballers. And so we're looking for another big initiative, summer program this year. And we'll be expecting donations from most and many, even if it's $2 to go. All of your contribution will go into this program. It's not a profit-making initiative. It's engaging our youths, engaging our communities for a better St. Kitts and Nevis. So we're happy. It's a lot of work. We are happy that we are able to contribute to the lives of so many young people here in St. Kitts and Nevis.
I'm happy to hear that. Well, it's a football camp, or you say that football is the vehicle, but the vehicle is loaded, as you mentioned the social skills, the life skills. I think persons might agree with me. Some might agree with me that given how our children nowadays are socialized or culturalized, you seem to see them do more FaceTiming. They're more with the electronics, and sports seem to be getting the back seat. So when you have children, an opportunity who are interested in sports like football, it helps additionally when you can make it more rounded in involving the financial literacy in terms of the social skills in terms of relating the conflict resolution. So that to me is a worthy program. I hope persons out there are willing and that they do volunteer their services to assist in this nation building. We have a tendency as persons, and some of us older persons, who tend to say what the young people are not doing. In something we need to, as we say locally, put your money where your mouth is and assist the
Absolutely.
persons doing
Absolutely.
positive things.
Volunteering, volunteering is very scarce nowadays. Everybody wants to do something for money, but we can't gamble on our youth's future. We can't gamble on our youth's future. The summer break, the summer holidays is basically 2 months home. You don't want your kids to stay home all summer. As we just say in local Pala, the devil will find work for idle hands.
I was thinking the same thing. You only said it.
That is the reason why you see we are hosting this summer program to engage our youths. We can't do it all by ourselves, and that's the reason why we encourage volunteerism. We have to bring back volunteerism if we're going to have a safer and brighter future for our youths here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I will tell you this, that coming out of the summer camp last year, we recognized that, hey, this is only for 2 weeks. Some of the parents were asking, why can't you do it for the whole summer? But people have to go back to work. The coaches have to fly back out. We decided, when the Prime Minister launched the 90 Days Crime Prevention Initiative in last year, we decided, hey, this is a way to engage our youths on a weekly basis. And so we met with the assistance of FIFA advisor Lenny Lake, as well as Bumpy Morris, Diane Brown, and the executive of the Security Forces and National Intervention Team. And we sat down and we said, hey, we have to do something all year round for these youths who we have engaged during the summer. And so on the 6th of October last year, we would have launched an anti-crime intervention initiative out of the 90 days crime prevention. The New Generation Grassroots program for boys and girls between the ages of 4 to 12. And that program it's now in its 6th, going into its 7th month. And it has grown from strength to strength. We want to thank the Police Cooperative Credit Union for coming on board and sponsoring that program. And we're so excited. We're about to launch a new jersey, a new kit, thanks to the Police Credit Union for coming on board and investing in these youths. So that program is going. That is something that came out of the summer program last year, to engage all these children all year round, to keep them and to build them. And we do the same thing that we do in the summer camp. Every Saturday, we have someone to speak to them about life skills and those sort of things. We have the same model, you know. We're asking as well for more volunteers in that program as well, as, you know, it's every Saturday. And the kids are looking forward to every Saturday. We have transportation that goes around the island every Saturday morning, bring them to NCI ground and take them back at midday. So we want to thank all who has been partnering with us in that initiative. I will speak about why we continue to have our international coaches, because that is very important. Yes, the camp can be run by local coaches, but we believe that in order to create a future for our young people. We have a network out in the diaspora, and we have people in the diaspora who is willing to support, but it has to be structured properly. We are an organization. We are trying to register to become a registered organization. We are in the process of doing that. We are in the application process as we speak. But it has to be structured to get that support from the diaspora. But some of the reasons why we want to have that international influence is because it provides scholarships for young people. And I am a big advocate of scholarships. Nothing satisfies me more than to see our young people representing St. Kitts and Nevis getting scholarships to go overseas and study through football, of course, and making a life of themselves, coming back. They might not make it to the professional ranks, but all what we're doing with these young people, one of them might be the next Prime Minister, the next Medical Chief of Staff, the next Commissioner of Police, the next Commander of the Defense Force, the next Head Teacher, Chief Education Officer, Minister of Government. So it's not just about today. We're looking down the road, building these youths into better persons. Also, having international coaches provide international, it brings international experience and best practices to our athletes, to the young people, and our local coaches, of course. Especially, we're hearing a lot more about safeguarding now. And when you think about safeguarding, you might feel like, well, a coach might trouble a little girl. It's more than that. It has to do with how many children you should be coaching, what activities you're giving them to do. And this is becoming, soon it's going to be mandated in St. Kitts and Nevis. So you're going to be hearing more about safeguarding in young people and sports. And it's not just football, it's in all the sports. Athletics, cricket, basketball, all the sports, you're going to be hearing more about safeguarding. One of the reasons why we're so passionate is because year one, we planned this camp in 3 weeks, and we were able to pull it off with the assistance of a number of corporate partners like Ross University, Development Bank. We were able to pull it off, and we had 5 coaches who came in, and they were able to. It was a tough one. We had 196 children in that 2-week span, and those 5 coaches were able to, with the assistance of our local volunteers, to pull out the camp. But last year, True Life Sports came on board with Reach One, Teach One, and brought in 14 coaches, some from the UK, some from the US. And we saw, as I said, over 300. As a matter of fact, we had to bring across the Department of Sports camp for the first week of the camp, so that the coaches and their children can feel the experience of our summer program. So that was a good partnership last year. In year one, we were able to get a 2-year scholarship for an athlete, for one of our footballers here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Unfortunately, it didn't work out because the US Embassy did not grant the visa to go. So that scholarship didn't materialize. Last year in year 2, we were able to send Sergeant O'Dane, 2 young goalkeepers, and Coach Bumpy Morris to England for 2 weeks to an apprentice training to see how football is done in the UK. They were introduced to Tottenham Hotspur's program. They did a lot of intervention visits and things like that to see how social work is done in England. Okay. And Charmaine O'Dane, she's the head of the national intervention team. He was able to bring back a lot of that. Bumpy Morris, he was able to bring back a lot of what he saw at the academies in England, and is now implementing it in our Saturday program.
Okay, hold the thought right there. We'll take a break and we'll come back and allow it to continue.
Yes.
Don't you dare touch that dial.
You ready? You ready? Let's go! St. Kitts and Nevis, get ready. The second edition of the Jesus in the City Parade and Festival is coming to Warner Park, Bastille on Saturday, May 17th, 2025. Join thousands of believers from across the Federation and the Caribbean as we unite in a powerful celebration of love for God and love for people through music, the arts, and the culture. The festivities kick off at 11 a.m. with the parade leaving Warner Park at 12 noon and moving along city streets, returning to the park for a grand concert celebration. Be a part of this unforgettable experience. Enter a float or group or become a sponsor. Visit jesusinthecity.com to get involved.
Kids and neighbors, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher, pay your bill in full, sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today. Tune into ZIZ, the nation station, keeping your company at home, work, or on the go. We play today's hits and yesterday's favorites, bringing you the latest information and entertainment. Want to advertise with us? We have television and 2 radio stations to help get the word out. Call us now at 465-2621 and let us help you reach your audience. ZIZ, the nation station, your source for music, news, and more.
Okay, good morning again and welcome to Policing with You. This morning we're talking to Inspector Borgan about the Summer Crime Intervention football camp. He has been sharing some good information. He's been asking about and encouraging persons to volunteer. They're still looking for persons to volunteer. We're still looking for corporate society to continue making their input. And remember that Inspector Borgan mentioned we are making an investment in the lives of our young people, but idea is that we're making an investment in our future, not just the young people's future. Because if we safeguard the young people's future, we're safeguarding our own. If we provide activities for them to engage themselves positively, we have the society that we argue for, and we reduce the incidence of those things that we complain about in terms of the young people doing things that we are not too proud of. So you were talking about some of the benefits, the international coaching and the international partnership.
Yes.
So just continue from there.
Yeah, so I was mentioning some of the deliverables from last year, and we are hoping to even build on that for this year. Another one of the deliverables that we had from last year's camp, a young man came to volunteer at the camp, and the coaches saw him. He's a goalkeeper, a national goalkeeper. He also goalkeeps for Kean Football Club in the Premier Division. We know him, Kai Chatman. He just received a scholarship and should be going to school in the US in August, come this semester coming up, this new school year coming up. So he should be starting in in Bethany University, and that's a full 4-year scholarship there that came as a result of him coming to the summer camp last year and volunteering and participating in the camp. And that is a scholarship that is worth over almost $200,000 easy. So I'm saying that there are opportunities for our young people. Luckily, Kai is a U.S. citizen, so it was easier for him to get there than someone who has to go through the visa process. And there's a lot more children in St. Kitts and Nevis who has raw skill and talent. My good friend in Manchester, they had sent me some videos of an under 15 training session, and these are Man City. Man City is one of the biggest clubs in England. These are Man City children. And when I look at the skill level of these youths, we got the same talent in St. Kitts, but it's just that the opportunity is not there. And that's the reason why we're so passionate about all the youth programs that we're doing. Because we're building young boys and young girls into men and women for a better future. And you just hinted on it there. It's not just about developing the youths, but it's also benefit us, because we develop youths, crime is going to go down.
Definitely.
Right? And so we're not doing this just for ourselves or just for the youths alone. But it's a holistic approach. And in yesterday in the meeting at Delta, Mr. Sylvester was mentioning, the politician refers to the citizens as constituents. Mm-hmm. Police refer to them as our community, or the public. But the sponsors look at them as clients. So it's a holistic approach where an all hands on deck approach needed for a better St. Kitts and Nevis. And the record is there to show that, and maybe our programs may have contributed somewhat, but since the last summer camp, we have seen a drastic decrease in homicides via shootings, young people killing one another. Since the Saturday program launched in October, I don't believe we had a shooting death since October last year. I stand to be corrected, but all these are initiatives that are helping to build a better St. Kitts and Nevis. And we may not take some credit, but at least we're doing something. We're doing something. We're not just sitting back and waiting and watching and saying, well, that ain't my problem. We came on board. We engage the community. We engage the national intervention team, because obviously sports is a vehicle that can reach young people. Rather than staying home, playing games, doing a lot of nonsense on the side of the road, we bring them in one space, in a safe space, to build better boys and girls out of them. I have seen young boys and girls come the first day, they cry. They want to go back home. But somebody from St. Paul's meets somebody from Boardwalk or Frigate Bay, and they become friends. And they want to come the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Because they're opening up now, rather than being home. And that's why the reason why we do this out of the love of we had.
But that's what we need. We need, instead of the segregation and this thing that spurs on this gang culture that we seem to be trying to cultivate, we want our young people to recognize that we live in a small country, St. Kitts Nevis, and we want them to get along and know one another. So we want the persons from Deep Bay, St. Paul's to know the persons from Bastille, and we want them to know they're one.
Absolutely.
Family, young people getting along, and if we can get that end going in them again. When we have our national teams, we have teams that are built from the best of St. Kitts and Nevis, and we get places.
Trust me, just yesterday I did a presentation at Tucker Clark Primary School, and I just buried my son last week, and a little boy walked up to me, "Inspector Borgan, Lee Kwan is your son?" I said, "Yeah." My son was 15. And he's just like maybe in grade 4, grade 5. And he's like, oh, you know my son? Because the summer camp, all of them were there last year. You know? And I was amazed. You know, and a lot of little boys and girls around asking me about my son. I mean, the age difference is way, but they know each other because we bring them together.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Definitely, that is what we want. Okay, so we're going to give persons a few minutes to contribute if they so wish, and maybe even volunteer. We'll have the opportunity to call in. The numbers to call is 465-1977 or 465-1903, or you can call 662-8674. That's 465-1977 or 465-1903 or 662-8674. See, okay. Okay, thank. So we have been. The camp has been going well, in terms of the past couple of years. You see it as a worthwhile venture, investment in our young people, a nation-building investment. Because if you're building in our young people, you're building the nation. We not just concentrating on local opportunities, but partner with the persons outside the Federation to open up more opportunities to the young people to advance themselves. Maybe go out there, gain some skills, come back and share, and let it be spread about so we increase the capacity, not just in sports, but like you said, not all may reach to the major leagues, but they may get some business skills, learn some other skills that they come back and develop what we have here, so that our local product improves and continues to improve. And if each one reach one, and we share what we have, and we pool our individual resources, corporate and personal, that we volunteer. When we have programs like these, instead of complain and criticize when we don't see things happening, or when things happen that we don't like, volunteer when we see positive things going on with our young people. Make that investment. Send your child, support your child. Don't send them and drop them off and don't look back, but send them, volunteer. You may only be able to give a couple hours, but it counts. And when your child see you invested in the things that they're doing, that helps in building the kind of young people that we want to see. We need to start to volunteer and support young people in the positive things that they are doing.
Absolutely. And that is high on our to-do list. We need more volunteers working with our young people. We need more programs that we have running all around the island. You know, it's programs like these that can make and shape a better St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, we can't do it by ourselves. We are doing it in Bastia, and there are other programs that are going on in Bastia, but we need to see one happening in Sandy Point, one happening in Saddlers, one happening in Cairn every Saturday morning, you know, to engage these youths in sports and life skills, not just sports alone, but life skills as well. These programs help. I looked at, for example, Sandy Point football team. Most of the players there now are in the mid-20s. I remember when some of them was like 6, 7, 8. I used to coach them in Sandy Point every Saturday morning. And now they're there, big men representing Sandy Point. So, you know, I'm saying, I mean, these programs, they do work and they have good outcomes. And we want to continue along the line. You know, just this morning when I came in the door, I saw one of the employees there. She has a son in the program, and she comes every Saturday, almost every Saturday, and she sits and waits on him. You know, she sits and waits on him. And this is what we're talking about. Parents not just dropping off and then coming back when they end, but being there to see what is happening. That shows an interest in what that you have in your child.
And when you have the programs that you volunteer whenever you can.
Right.
Okay. If someone wants to, we have a couple minutes, and like I said, this morning is your morning. So if someone wants to reach out to you or persons in the program in terms of wanting to volunteer or corporate wants sponsorship, how can they reach or contact you?
Okay, so I'll give the secretary's number. Her name is Patrice Lewis. Patrice Lewis. Her number is 663-5168. 663-5168. Or you can reach out to the head of the National Intervention Team, Sergeant Charmaine Odain, 665-5785. Or you can reach me, John Bergen, Inspector, 664-6969. An easy number to remember. Those are the main persons you can reach out to. I don't want to give people too many numbers that they don't remember, but these are 3 persons.
So just repeat the numbers again.
Patrice Lewis is 663-5168. Charmaine Odain, 665-5785. John Bergen, 664-6969.
Okay. So we just call it a wrap there. We say thank you, Inspector Bergen. Thank you for the work that you're doing, you and your team, in terms of the investment you're making in our young people. Thank you to all those who have tuned in. And I encourage you to reach out to Inspector Bergen or members of his team. And whether you have a child within the age range that participate in the camp or not, if you're able to, volunteer. I encourage someone else to volunteer as well. Let us, to our youth, invest in our youth, invest in our nation, invest in the kind of society that we want. Let's make our input so that we, other than criticize, we can send commendation for the work that we're doing. And thank you again for coming, Inspect, and thank you for tuning in. We'll see you again for a similar program next week, God willing.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
Tell me what you know about hate that keeps us separated.
Reaching you wherever you are. ZIZ Radio, the golden voice of the nation.
Hop into saving.